And that's how we got 20 offers. That's the secret formula. Hey guys, Enis with Whiteacre Properties. I'm back in the office today. I hope you liked the last video I did in Marlborough over at 18 McDonough Drive. I showed you guys the finished product and I promised you I was going to show you the numbers. Let me go over what you're going to see in the next 10 minutes here. One, how we found the property. So how we found the deal. Two, rehab budget. And three, how did we make a six-figure profit? So stay with me to the end. I'm just gonna go over those details. This is definitely one of our good rehab and fix and flip projects because we made over 100,000 profit on this deal, which if you guys follow us, it's uncommon. It's usually, we don't do that well, but there was a few things here that went really well. So I'm gonna talk about that. Number one, how we found the deal. We bought this property in June. So we bought this property in June of 2020 for $232,500. That was the purchase price. So let me tell you a little bit about where that lead came from. If you guys have followed us, you know we do a lot of direct mail and cold calling. This one was a letter that we sent out, I think 6 months prior to the first phone call. So they called us. I think the motivation for them was that they were going through divorce and the judge had given them a hard date to sell the property so they could split the proceeds. So when Mark, our acquisition guy, went out there, I remember this actually well because he was in New York, he was out of state, and we had to call him in and say, hey, you gotta go take this appointment. He went out and they really were motivated. They were set on a number and that number was within the range. But he sat down there, he went over the benefits of our company, and because we weren't too far apart, he got it signed right there on the spot. So one really cool lesson is bring the contract with you every single time. If you go on a face-to-face appointment, you might be able to sign it right there on the spot, and that's actually what you want to do. You never know if you're gonna have a second chance to go back. They might sign with the next person that comes over. So always have a contract with you. If they are ready, you're ready, get that deal signed. So $232,000 was the price. How did we come up with that number? Because that's the number that we actually gave to them and they accepted. So really quick, I'm gonna talk about the 70% rule. And what this really means is that we take the ARV, or after repair value, multiply that by 70%, and we subtract the rehab budget that we think, the money that we think we're gonna spend to fix the property. Again, after repair value, multiply by 70% minus rehab budget. That should give you the maximum allowable offer, MAO. In this case, I'm actually an agent, so I know that market, that area pretty good, but I went on the MLS, looked at comparable sales, and my opinion was that we would sell this property for $450,000. 450, 70%, and I thought we would spend $75,000 renovating it. One thing to keep in mind is that we really don't know the amount of work it needs because we have never been to the property. We run these numbers even before going out there. So we take a risk and we take a chance and we just look at Google View before even we go on an appointment. But based on the style of the property, which was a split level ranch built in 1970, based on our experience, I thought we would spend somewhere around $75,000. So this number is $240,000. So when Mark went out there, I said, hey Mark, we are in the range of $230,000 to $240,000. $230,000 to $240,000. That's our range. And this is exactly the formula that I use and the formula that we use with every single seller appointment. That's how we come up with our offers. So $450,000 again came from comparable sales. I looked at that area in the last 6 months. I was looking for split level houses and noticed that there were a couple comps and they sold somewhere around $450,000 to $475,000, but I wanted to be conservative, so I took $450,000 as my number. If you are not an agent like I am, network with one, hire somebody. You need someone really good that knows the area, that can tell you how much is the property going to sell after the renovations. So this number, ARV, after repair value, so after you do the work. Final thought on the 70% rule. The reason why we go for the 70% is that the rest, the 30%, that leaves us with our profit, with our expenses, with our holding costs that you guys will see if you stay with me to the end, because we're going to go over all those numbers. All right, so tip number one, use that formula, 70% rule. You cannot go wrong. It's not about emotions. When we started buying houses back in 2014, if we were feeling good about a house, we would buy it. If we were feeling bad, we just didn't really look at the numbers so carefully, but just the gut feeling. So use a formula that's going to save you, and it's just about the numbers at that point, right? All right, so we're going to go over exactly all the expenses that we have here, from the purchase price to the rehab budget to holding cost, everything that you actually, all the money that goes out to show you guys what's left at the end, right? That's the profit, or in some cases a loss. In this case, thank God, was a profit. Before I do that, let me tell you what we are under contract for and how we got to that, because we got 20 offers on this property, so definitely unusual. We do get multiple offers because it's a hot market, but 20, it's a lot. It's a big number. So we got $540,000 for 18 McDonough Drive after we did the work, and we got 20 offers. So we do follow a process. Once we do all the work, the tendency is, hey, let's actually list the property. Let's just get an offer and move on, because it took us 7 months. I mean, right now it's January 2021, and you guys saw that we bought it in June. So this project took 7 months. And the tendency is, let's just be done with it, move on to the next one, right? However, as exhausted as we are at the end, we put a lot of effort, a lot of money went out. We got to be really careful and follow a process. We have to, and I'll explain to you guys what I mean by that. Number one thing is get it staged. So not only make sure it's clean, everything is done, but also stage it. So staging is number one. Number two, put it on the MLS after taking some nice photography. So professional photos, that's a must. They don't cost a lot of money, but it gives you a chance at presenting your property in the best possible way, because you only get one chance at posting on the MLS. Once you are there, you can't really turn back, right? So staging, professional photos, posting on a Monday or Tuesday. That's what we do. That's our process that we follow. So post on MLS on a Monday, and then don't do any showings until Saturday or Sunday. So why do we do that? The idea is that we want to create momentum on this property, right? If we post on Monday or Tuesday, you got the rest of the week for all the other portals to take your listing, like Redfin, Zillow, Realtor.com. They take your listing. Now you get a lot more attention from a lot of people, right? And you don't show it. You don't show it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You don't show it the rest of the week until the open house. So number four, having a successful open house. And what I mean by that is just bring everybody during the same time. We usually do Saturday from 11 to 1, Sunday from 11 to 1, and that's the only time you can see this house, right? So now you see the line of cars coming, you see the line of people waiting in line to get in. What that creates competition. Everybody, if they like the finished product, they want to put an offer, now they're bumping into each other, they want the house, so you create supply and demand that way, right? The other way to do it is just give everybody a 30 minutes window of time during the week, but they're not bumping into each other. They don't see how much how much demand there is for the house. So if you get everyone at the same time, it's totally different. You create this huge momentum. You create this desire for everybody to buy it. They want to submit the highest offer. So that's the process we follow. We tell them Monday at 5, that's when the offers are due. And that's how we got 20 offers. That's the secret formula. So what worked, again, the staging, professional photos, post on MLS on a certain day, those are important. And obviously the quality and the design that we put into the work. If you guys saw the video, that house was really, really nice. So it was a desirable product, and there's nothing like that around. So if you combine all that, that's how we got to the 540, which was a huge bump. It was $90,000 over asking price. It's not common that we get that, but in this market, it's getting more and more common if we follow the steps to get our price. Let's go back to crunching numbers and showing you guys how we made over $100,000 on this house. So that number is $540,000. You guys know that we paid $232,500. The reason why actually I'm doing this video is I want to outline all the costs that you have if you fix and flip a house. So if you look at HGTV, they tell you selling price, they tell you the purchase price, and they tell you the rehab price, and then the rest is profit. And that's actually not the case. There is a lot more hidden fees that you need to be aware of, because you're gonna have to pay that. And if you didn't run the numbers properly, that's gonna come out of your profit. So your profit is gonna shrink tremendously. So selling price $540,000, purchase price $232,500, closing cost. Closing cost is $10,085. And what I mean by closing cost is the points, and I'll explain what that means in a second. The title insurance and attorney fee for the closing. So we actually work with a hard money lender that we really like. On this property, he funded the purchase price, 90% of the purchase price and 100% of the construction. For him to lend us the money, he requires 2% or 2 points. That's 2 points on the total amount borrowed. I think we borrowed $290,000 from him, so 2% of that amount. That's the point. All right, title insurance. You want to buy title insurance. If there is an issue on title, then you are stuck with this house that you cannot sell. And that has happened to us before, that we have bought houses with title problems, title issues, but if you have the insurance, at least you can sleep at night, you are covered. And in Massachusetts, real estate is so expensive that what do you do if you can sell it? If you got a title issue, that's a problem, right? So title insurance, I think in this one was somewhere around $1,400. Definitely expensive, but it gives you that peace of mind that you're buying a house with clean title and you can sell later. And if something goes wrong in the title chain in the past and someone discovers that, you are covered by title insurance. That's the whole idea. Attorney fee, it's a flat fee. It's usually around $1,000 just for them to draft the deed, work with you on the purchase and sale agreement, all that stuff, right? So closing cost $10,085. This is when we bought the house. Closing cost when we purchased the house. Holding cost. You bought it, it went on record. You are the owner of the property. You own this for the next 7 months. What type of expenses do you have monthly? That's what this number is. Your monthly expenses for the 7 months that you carry the house. So my number here is $23,400. So our lender, I believe, the fee here is somewhere around $17,000. That's his interest for the 7 months. 7 times, I think it's $2,400 a month. The home insurance is about $1,700, depending on the size of the property and the value of the property. Somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000. Usually that's how much we spend on property insurance. And then the property tax obviously depends on the town. The town of Marlborough, the annual property tax was $5,400. So the difference is the amount that we pay is $3,200. Again, we only carried the house for 7 months. So oil, electric, all those utilities, they come to $1,500. So if you add everything, it should come, the total should be $2,340. So that's your holding costs, because there are definitely monthly costs. And this is a number that you guys need to budget for, because on a monthly basis, you're gonna have to pay. Property insurance, we typically pay it up front. Utilities, usually we pay this monthly. Property tax, we don't pay until at the end, so you can wait until the end of the project. And our lender also waits to the end to get paid. But if you have to pay everything monthly, I mean, that's a good chunk of change there. You gotta have on the side in order to carry you for 7 months. If you don't, then you are stuck. You cannot finish this project. And that's the worst thing that can happen as a fix and flip company, because you wanna go to the finish line. You wanna get paid, you wanna sell it, right? Rehab, this is a big number. I get a lot of calls, emails, and texts from you guys about you know, how to run rehab numbers, how, you know, how much I'm going to spend on a roof, how much I'm going to spend on the electric. We're still getting, I mean, we're still learning all this, you know, 6 years later. So it's something that you do day in and day out and you get better at it. But you also can network with others. If you have a good general contractor, if you have good friends, you can reach out to us and ask questions. But this is not something that you get better overnight, because there's a lot of trades. I'm going to show you guys the amount of work that we put into it, but there's a lot of different trades and you need to price it right. So this number for us was $108,000. So we spent $108,000 fixing the property. All right. Commissions, we get into the finish line. Commissions, 4% of the sale price. You can pay as much as 5 or 6%. We typically just say 4, and that's fine. It's usually 2 on the buyer side, and everybody's perfectly fine with that. So don't overpay on commission. Obviously, a good realtor, it's worth every penny of it, but we handle our sales in-house, so 4% is what we do. If you run the numbers on that, it's $21,600. I'm sorry, $21,600. All right, closing cost. This is the last line item. That's about $4,000, and it covers the Massachusetts stamp tax and the attorney fee. So if you are wondering why do you have to pay attorneys twice, it's because actually you got 2 closings. You pay them $1,000 usually on the purchase side, you pay another $1,000 on the sale side. So those are the numbers. These are the real numbers. I actually sat down earlier, looked at the HUD statement, and pulled a lot of these numbers out of there to give you guys an accurate view of exactly what's going on behind that specific project. All right, so I only actually put the profit down, but the profit on this property is $140,415. Definitely a home run deal by any means. If you guys follow us, you know that typically somewhere between $50,000 and $70,000. That's the profit margins on every single flip. We have obviously those where we lose money on it. So, but this is definitely out of the ordinary, and this is not something that. This is not the net profit. On top of that, you got tax, somewhere between 25 and 30% that you pay Uncle Sam, your 30% partner in the deal. So don't forget about that, because you cannot take this money and run with it. You got to take 30%, put it aside, and pay taxes at the end of the year, right? So that's our profit and loss statement right there. A good deal, but the goal for me right now is to show you guys that you have all these other fees in between, right? So make sure that tip number 2 is make sure that you know your numbers. Know your numbers. You got a holding costs, you got closing costs, you got rehab, you got commissions. Make sure you don't miss any of that when you run numbers on your next deal. Final thought that I want to share with you is the rehab scope of work. I'm not going to go into a lot of details, but I wanted to show you guys where did we spend $108,000. Seems like a lot of money, right? On one single family home. So let's go over that really quick. Step 1, once we close on the property, and usually we do this even before we close, but one of us, sometimes it's me, sometimes it's Jimmy, our project manager, one of us goes inside the property and creates a scope of work. We take a bunch of photos, come back to the office, sit down and say, based on the area and based on the purchase price or the value, the range of where we're going to sell this property, what do we do? Do we do a full gut rehab where we actually get everything down to the studs and start over? Do we just do a cosmetic rehab where we just paint and put it back on the market? Do we just clean it up and just actually sell it as is without doing anything? So those are the questions that we go and think about all the time. Like, we need to figure out the exit strategy. Is it going to be like I said, a full gut or an easy one? So we don't treat everything the same. If you are in the city of Boston doing condos, maybe you have to do a gut rehab. For this one, we were in Marlborough. In this market, it's so hot out there, right, that the real estate has been on fire through 2020. It's not slowing down. So property will sell, you just got to find the sweet spot, you know, where you're going to make the most return of your return on investment. So in our case, the lady left a lot of stuff behind. There was a lot of junk. If we just painted it, yes, it would have been a good deal, but we thought it would be nice to change the kitchen, change the bathrooms, change the roof, paint the exterior, change the windows, because those were items that I don't know if we would be qualified for an FHA buyer. We just didn't see ourselves doing really well if we did very little work on this property. So, all right, so number one, we did clean out, took all the junk out, obviously cleared it out. We refinished the flooring. Actually, I'm wrong, we installed new hardwood floors because it was mostly carpet. So we took all the old carpet out, put hardwood floors. So installing first, second, and even basement, I think we went with vinyl flooring. And obviously we painted the interior, we painted the exterior. We did install all brand new windows on this property. A big ticket items obviously is the kitchen. By kitchen I mean cabinets, the counters, appliances. Obviously the kitchen is definitely one of the most important rooms in the house, so you want to make that the wow factor. They come in and it's all nice and beautiful. So that was the goal there. They had some older 1960s, the original cabinets. We could have painted, that's one way. We could have done granite countertops on those existing cabinets. That was an option, but again, based on price point and the type of buyer we're going after, we thought it would be a good idea to install a new kitchen. And then we updated the bathrooms. So by updating, we didn't gut the room by any means, but we put new tiles new tiles for both bathrooms, new tub, new vanity, new faucets, new light, right? The cosmetic stuff that goes into a bathroom. But when you went in, it was all brand new. And then you got electric, because we had to update the electric. We update the plumbing, fix the heating system a little bit. And then we did put 2 garage doors. And then we have our landscaping. The next 2 line items is something that not everybody actually does, but it's been a while now that we have committed to bringing to market, especially when we put this much effort, good design, right? So all the finishes, all the colors, all the lights, someone that we have on our team, Enis, who is really nice and really good, she selects everything and makes our life easy and makes us look like, you know, $1 million when we go on market. So there is a design fee that we pay to an interior designer, and then there is a staging who gets handled by Chelsea. Again, that's the rest of the equation. These 2 together make that house pop and make the house look so unique compared to everybody else. Because think about it, everybody else that's listing they have lived in it, maybe they've done some work here and there, but when we combine these 2 people and they help us with their service, you know, it's a total different house. So money definitely worth spending, because you're gonna get that many times over. So if you add everything up, the total is 108. One lesson here is that it's expensive to renovate houses. So like I said, if you guys haven't done before, definitely go to a couple sources and get prices from different people. We mostly work with the same guys, but we still try to get 2 or 3 quotes from everyone, because they definitely vary tremendously, right? And so price is important. Try to get a couple of prices. I'm not saying go with the lowest, because it doesn't work that way. Just go with someone that's gonna do a good job, someone that's gonna show up on time, someone that's gonna get you the finish line quicker, and but definitely compare prices and definitely go network out there with contractors. That is the process in Marlborough. We are about a week away from closing, so by the time you guys see this video, we probably closed and gone on record. And I'm super excited about it, because like I said, it was a good one. So I'm looking forward to another one in the area. Just today I submitted another offer in Marlborough, so fingers crossed if it gets accepted. I'll show you guys another project in Marlborough soon. It's another single family home. So now that I know the process and the numbers in that area, I can also calculate better, and maybe I can offer a little bit more because we got a lot more on the sales side, right? I hope you guys find this valuable. Please comment, please share it. Let me know what you like and what you don't. If there's something specific that you want me to talk about, please send me an email, Enis@whiteacreproperties.com, or everywhere on social media at Whiteacre Properties on Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, happy to talk to you guys. You can call anytime or reach out to us. Thank you.